What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Y'all have been crazy over the past couple of weeks here, blowing up the channel, almost at 1,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for the support. Means a lot to me, truly does. I love helping you guys out, so thank you guys again. Now today, in this video, I want to go over how to get the raid ghost from the new Vow of the Disciple. Now this can be obtained actually without even going into the raid, which is super fun for me, just because it gives those people a chance that can't always raid and go in there to grab this and get those lore books. So this is a super nice way for those solo players to get it as well, but you can also do it in the raid, don't get me wrong. Super easy to do it inside of there as well. So first off, for my solo players, you can actually complete that new preservation mission, and you can get 6 in a single run, and then after that you do have to reset and then do it once, and you can only get 1 lore book after that, but there is a certain reason for that. So after you complete the mission completely, defeat those 3 chieftains at the end, there will actually be 5 councils around the area in that final room right there, and then also in the room in the first encounter, the acquisition encounter of the raid, where the totems obelisks are. You can collect those 5 podiums, and you'll get some voice lines from Rulk, hearing some interesting things that he has to say about the witness and the darkness, everything like that. So you can collect those 5 podiums after you complete it, and then actually get those lore books that count towards inside of the Vow of the Disciple. So that can only be collected once, and then your other 5 that you have to collect is actually based on something earlier in that mission. So earlier in the mission, when you actually enter the pyramid for the first time, you come into this gigantic room where it has all of those different symbols on the totems. There's some of them that only have 1 on a certain side, and then the rest of them are just in rows, and they'll have 1 on each side of them. Now at these different symbols, you can go up to them, interact with them with your activate button, whatever it may be, square, X, E, whatever you do to activate stuff. That is one way to do it. You can also shoot these to activate them, and then also melee to activate them. So there's 3 different ways to actually interact with these symbols. Now, these symbols have a certain order that you have to activate them in, and there will be 4 of them per run that you can do. So within the preservation mission, when you get to this room, you can do it once, and then it'll go away, and each time you come into the preservation, when you get to this room, you can do it again, but you do have to leave and come back to it. Now, within the raid, it's a little different. You can do 10 in 1 as long as you're wiping and restarting. It kind of resets that encounter, if you would call it that. So you can do all 10 of these within the raid, actually. But if you're doing the preservation mission, you can only do it once per run. So when you are at these podiums, there is a wall on the right-hand side of the room that you can jump through one of the baby windows and then kind of go underneath, and you can see a board on the wall. Now, the board on the wall will have 3 rows on it, and then also 4 columns. The top and the middle row will never ever change. It'll always be Forward Guardians on top, and then it'll be the enter sign, commune, and then kill. So just know that the top 2 rows will not change. The only row that changes is this bottom row right here. Now, the bottom row shows which symbols you actually have to interact with. Now, with those symbols, the 4 that changes, you have to do a certain thing based on the symbols above it. So, under the 2 enters, those you actually have to melee. Under the commune symbol, you have to activate it so you interact with it with your E, square, X, whatever you use to actually like press and interact with something in the game. And then the last one, kill, whatever is under that symbol, you have to shoot it. So if it, whatever it is right here, you melee the first 2 symbols, interact with the 3rd, and then shoot the 4th. So then you go into the big room with all of those podiums, find those symbols, and like I said, melee the first 2, interact with the 3rd, and shoot the 4th. And you might have to do it a couple times just because it's a weird activation with it sometimes where they won't recognize they're all activated at once. So it doesn't have to be in a certain order, just you have to make sure that you melee the first 2, activate the 3rd, and then shoot the 4th. And once all 4 of those are activated, the little triumph will be complete and the lore book will pop up underneath. And like I said, in the preservation mission, that's all you can do. You will have to like reset and come back into this room, go through that entire first encounter before you get here. But in the raid, if you reset, you can kind of keep doing this and do it 10 times in a row to get your ghost, because you do need 10 lore pages to actually unlock the ghost. And that triumph, once you collect the triumph, you get the ghost as well. It's a pretty cool little ghost, and it's very interesting that we can get it within the preservation mission instead of actually having to go into the raid. So that definitely helps out my solo players here, or people who can't get into the raid consistently and do it all the time. I have said in the past, we do have an LFG Discord on my server that we kind of like to help people out and trying to grow it and get more people in there so we can have everybody popping and helping each other out in there as well. So hopefully this helped you guys out and it made sense to everybody. It's a little confusing, but just know when you get into that room within the preservation mission or the raid where there's all those symbols that you can interact with, there's that little wall on the side. Go underneath, see which symbols you need to interact with. The first 2 will always be melee, the 3rd one will be interact, and then that last one you will have to shoot, and then just keep doing that until you get all 10 of your lore books. Or like I said, in the preservation, you have those 5 interactions posts that you can go to after you kind of beat the mission, and you also get 5 lore books, 1 from each of those. So super interesting, like I said again, and love helping you guys out get this raid loot without actually going into the raid for this one. So that's kind of cool, like I said, for my solo players. So thank you guys again for watching. I truly appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.